Okay, it's gonna be okay.
I just saw the Blue Beetle movie, and though DC has had a mixed bag of films in the last couple of years, I am thrilled to talk about this new installment in the DC world of cinema. Welcome back to Pop Mythology, where we dive into the depths of pop culture. Today, we're exploring the world of Blue Beetle, a character that's buzzed through comic book history for over 75 years and has now landed on the big screen. The DC Extended Universe has been DC's ambitious attempt at a cinematic universe akin to Marvel's MCU, but it's faced an uphill battle to win the praises of fans of the superhero film genre. Through restructuring and a wiping of the canon, it's safe to say Blue Beetle comes out at a strange time for DC movies. From its comic book origins to its place in the ever-evolving extended DC universe, we'll unravel the lore and state of the Blue Beetle, reviewing the film and discuss its unique place in the DCEU. To fully understand Blue Beetle's present, we must first rewind to his past, as there have been several characters to take on the mantle of Blue Beetle. Rewinding will take us all the way back to the bustling era of the golden age of comics, a time when superheroes were emerging as a new force in pop culture. Amidst the colorful pages, a new hero was born, the original Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett. Dan Garrett was a police officer who stumbled upon a mystical scarab that granted him superhuman strength, speed, and stamina. This ancient artifact, imbued with magic, became the source of his powers, transforming him into the Blue Beetle. Dan Garrett's stories were filled with excitement, intrigue, and a touch of the fantastical, capturing the imagination of readers and setting the stage for a legacy that would span generations. Fast forward now to the swinging 60s and meet Ted Kord, the second Blue Beetle. Created by the legendary Steve Ditko, Ted was a student of Dan Garrett and took up the mantle after his mentor's tragic death. Unlike his predecessor, Ted had no superpowers, but relied on his intellect, gadgets, and athleticism. Ted Kord's Blue Beetle was a departure from the mystical origins of the character. He was a brilliant inventor, crafting an array of gadgets, including the iconic Bug, a flying ship that became synonymous with his character. Ted's adventures were filled with humor, wit, and a touch of the absurd, reflecting the creative energy of the 60s. His relationships with other heroes, particularly his friendship with Booster Gold, added depth and complexity to his character and story arcs. Ted's Blue Beetle was a symbol of innovation and creativity. His tech-savvy approach, combined with a relatable human touch, made Ted Kord's Blue Beetle a beloved figure, reflecting the era's fascination with technology and adding a modern twist to the Beetle's legacy. And now we fast forward quite a bit. To the new Millennium, where we meet Jaime Reyes, the third Beetle, a teenager bonded with an alien scarab. Created by Keith Geffen, John Rogers, and Cully Hamner, this new Blue Beetle was a fresh take on the hero, introducing a new generation to the legacy. Jaime Reyes was an ordinary high school student in El Paso, Texas, when he stumbled upon the scarab that had once belonged to Dan Garrett. The scarab bonded with him, granting him extraordinary abilities, including enhanced strength, flight, and energy blasts. Then, with the New 52 reboot in 2011, Blue Beetle's origin was reimagined, marking a significant turning point in the character's history. The New 52 was a bold initiative by DC Comics, relaunching their entire line of stories, resetting characters, and continuity to attract new readers. For Blue Beetle, specifically Jaime Reyes, this meant a fresh start. The reboot delved deeper into the scarab's alien origins, exploring its connection to an ancient and powerful race known as the Reach. The scarab was no longer just a mystical artifact, but a sophisticated piece of alien technology with a dark and complex history. Jaime's relationship with the scarab became more nuanced, exploring the themes of power, control, and destiny. And then finally, we can fast forward to 2023, present day, where the Blue Beetle is taking flight on the big screen. When the scarab suddenly chooses Jaime to be its symbiotic host, he's bestowed with an incredible suit of armor.
He likes me.
Capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers. It is a destiny-changing adventure as Jaime becomes the superhero Blue Beetle. I walked into the theater excited but not quite knowing what to get into, because I have to admit I didn't know much about the character before I went in, though I walked out with a big smile on my face. The movie's fun, it offers good moments, and I'll touch on what I liked, but overall, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had seen parts of this movie before. The best way I can put it is this. Imagine you're making a movie smoothie. You know how you can throw a bunch of ingredients into a blender and end up with something delicious even if you've tasted all those flavors before? Well, that's Blue Beetle. Take a generous scoop of Iron Man, dollop of Ant-Man, splash of Alien, sprinkle of Ready Player One, a pinch of RoboCop, a twist of Iron Man 2, you kind of blend all that together and you get a cinematic smoothie that is definitely not original. It might not win any awards for being new, but at the end of the day, it's gonna taste good. And that's kind of the best way to put this movie. It was very easy to see all of the different things that might have inspired this film. I could very literally look at different shots in this movie and go, oh yeah, that's the shot from blank. Or that's the shot from blank. And I'm not saying that it makes the movie bad, but it definitely makes it a little bit, derivative. Leading the cast is Jolo Maridueña, who you might recognize from Amazon Prime's Cobra Kai. Even though I haven't seen that show, I've heard he is fantastic in it, and he certainly doesn't disappoint as Jaime Reyes. He's got charm, complexity, and feels genuinely connected to the character. The actress that plays his sister, she adds so much depth, and the family dynamic shown throughout the film is genuinely touching. The villains, as well, they fall victim to the classic generic corporate bad guy trope. Susan Sarandon brings it, but the writing is very whatever for her character. Blue Beetle also uses practical effects to ground their visual effects and create a more grounded movie visually. Good prosthetics and well-finished VFX set it apart from some of the rushed CGI jobs we've seen lately. It's a visual feast that feels tangible, and I was here for it. Definitely made me feel like the stakes were higher than other recent superhero flicks. Quantumania. Additionally, I thought the film score was awesome. It's a score that not only complements the action, but it also elevates it. Old school synths mixed with big thumpy drums that groove and feel powerful. It's otherworldly, it's cool, it sets the tone perfectly. So really, despite its heavy inspiration from other properties, Blue Beetle was a great time. It had heart, action, and a sense of family that made me smile. So should you see Blue Beetle? Well, if you're a fan of the character, if you love superhero films, or if you can appreciate a well-blended cinematic smoothie, even if you've tasted some of the flavors before, then yeah, totally. But if you can't get past the familiar elements, this movie might not be your cup of tea. I'm gonna go ahead and rate it 3.5 scarabs out of 5. A tasty treat, but not quite a gourmet feast. All in all, Blue Beetle is a celebration of a character's journey, a blend of familiar notes that still manages to hit the right chords. Original or not, it's a film that's worth the watch. Now, before we go, I want to talk about the elephant in the room. The film comes at a time where DC's cinematic universe is going through some major changes. The DCEU as a whole has been a roller coaster of hits and misses, with a canon that is as tangled as a bowl of spaghetti. And then you have Blue Beetle, a film that comes into the mix and doesn't quite clear up the confusion. Is it a part of the old DCEU or is it a fresh start? Even James Gunn's statements have added to the complexity, leaving fans scratching their heads. Blue Beetle has been described as one of the last remnants of a dying cinematic universe. It's like a puzzle piece that doesn't quite fit, yet it's too intriguing to ignore. James Gunn, now at the helm of DC's film productions, is stepping into a role akin to Marvel's Kevin Feige. Gunn is tasked with rebooting the entire DCEU, much like the New 52 reboot in the comics that we explored earlier. Will Gunn's vision align with the unique approach of Blue Beetle, or will it chart a new course entirely? It's a question that adds another layer of complexity to the film's place in the DCEU. Will Blue Beetle become a central figure in this new franchise, or will he be a one-hit wonder? The future is as certain as the Scarab's next move, but it's a future that is filled with potential. These questions don't just pertain to one character or one film. They touch on the very essence of what the DCEU could become. As that universe undergoes a transformation, Blue Beetle stands out as both a symbol of the old and a harbinger of the new. And as we close the book on Blue Beetle's latest adventure, we're left with a character that feels multifaceted and is fun to watch on screen. So what are your thoughts on the Blue Beetle? Did the film live up to your expectations? How do you see the character fitting into the DCEU's future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. From the golden pages of comics to the silver screen, Blue Beetle's legacy continues to soar. Here's to the hero who's never afraid to evolve. Until next time, thanks for watching.